The Canon 6D Mark II. Is it worth $2,600? In this video, we're gonna talk about it. My friends, my family, and everyone else in between. Welcome to a channel that teaches you how to explore, inspire, and engage as an active videographer. My name is Cody Scott, and if you're new to this channel, feel free to consider hitting that subscribe button. So, you either have been shooting for quite some time now, and you're thinking about upgrading your camera, or you want to start a production company and you want to make a really good first investment, but you're still unsure about the Canon 6D Mark II. I've been using it for quite some time now, so it would be a little bit biased if I talk to you guys about this camera. I'd rather you hear from a good friend of mine who knows a ton about cameras and who's using a different camera right now. Hey dude, what are you doing right now?
Not much. Fine.
You want to help me with a video?
Sure. Can you come pick me up?
Yeah, I'll come pick you up. 1 second.
That is not exactly what I had in mind, but at least you didn't actually pick me up.
It worked though.
So, what did you want to ask me?
Alright, Jeb, so what do you think about the Canon 6D Mark II?
I think it's a good all-arounder. It's not a very spec-rich camera. It's pretty basic in photos, basic in video. It is a full frame, which is kind of nice with the wider field of view, like 24 on that as opposed to 24 on my crop sensor. Of course, everyone knows and complains about it doesn't have 4K, but the 1080p looks pretty good. Its bitrate is decent. It's got 1080 24, 1080 60, and if you're doing live motion, you want to slow it down a little bit, 1080 30 frames per second. That takes a little micro jitters out of it. So it's perfect for like the vlogging cameras. I know people are getting tired of hearing that, but it really is good for that. But then again, you got it for a production company, and your clients don't seem to mind. They seem to actually really like the footage out of it. This camera is just a good all-arounder, and it's enjoyable to use from everything I've heard.
So Jeb, you have the Canon M50 right now.
Yes.
Would you upgrade to the Canon 6D Mark II?
That's a good question. For me, I don't feel like the 6D Mark II is really that much of an upgrade besides the sensor. Yes, the full frame sensor is better for low light. For me, really, I'd say the 6D Mark II is almost a downgrade for me, because I got 4K in this camera. Now you have to use it with manual focus and wide lenses, but it's still usable. Now, if I had $2,600, would I get the 6D Mark II? That's a hard one, because the 6D Mark II is a really good vlogging camera. I mean, of course, you've heard that all over YouTube, that the 6D Mark II, great vlogging camera, great vlogging camera. It gives a cinematic image because shallow depth of field. It isolates your subject from the background so well. The color science is amazing. It got the flip out screen. But to be perfectly honest, if I had $2,600, I would either get the M50 with the kit lens and then get the adapter and adapt over a 10-18 and get a 50mm and a 35mm. You could do a lot of damage with $2,600. But if you wanted a bigger grip, a bigger handhold, I'd probably go with an ADD. Because yes, it's a crop sensor, but it's an advantage in some ways because you can use crop sensor lenses. You could get the 10-18 or maybe even a Tokina 11-16mm f 2.8 continuous throughout the zoom range. And then you could buy EFS lenses, which are so much cheaper than the larger EF lenses. And some other things that the 80D gives you, it gives you all-eye compression on the 24 frames per second. It still gives you audio meters on the phone, but it adds a mic jack. Battery life is still good. You can still get a battery grip. So, except for certain people who just love that full frame goodness, I don't think I could suggest the 60 Mark II to anyone except maybe a vlogger who has to have full frame.
So there you go, you heard it from somebody who doesn't use the Canon 60 Mark II. Should you upgrade to it, or should you use it as a very first investment? I think right now there's better options out there. There's this huge camera battle going on between Panasonic, Sony, Canon, and Fuji. They just all released mirrorless cameras, and honestly, I would go with a mirrorless option at this point. Before you decide whether or not you want the Canon 60 Mark II, I would ask yourself two questions. 1, what do you plan on shooting? And 2, what do you expect out of a camera? To address question number 1, what you will be shooting, just ask yourself, do you want to be a photographer, a videographer? Are you going to be vlogging? Are you going to be shooting weddings? Are you going to be shooting commercials? That will help you decide which camera you need, because if you're going to be shooting commercials and weddings, you don't necessarily need to go buy an Ursa Mini or a Canon 1DX, essentially.
By the way, if you have an EOS-M camera, get the 18-55. It's used, they don't even make it in production anymore. This lens is awesome. Image stabilizer is great. The image is sharper than the kit lens. It's a great all-around lens for this, especially for doing B-roll stuff.
So we've actually lost a lot of sunlight out here. There's no more beautiful golden hours, so we're gonna pick this back up in the studio. Fair enough?
I think Cody forgot that he was supposed to take me home. Whoops.
I forgot my camera. I have Job's camera. He said he wanted to trade for the Canon 60 Mark II.
I'd do that. Sell that for $2 grand, get another one of those and some more lenses.